From shameless women stripping down for Tiger Woods to wild adult entertainers going all out on the green, these are the most outrageous streaker moments in golf history. And first, we start at number 9. It's the 2003 U.S. Open at Olympia Fields, Illinois. Jim Furyk is having the tournament of his life, closing in on his first major championship. The pressure is enormous. Every shot counts. But then, something completely unexpected happens. Brittney Skye, an adult film actress, decides this is her moment to shine, and boy, does she make an entrance. She bursts onto the 11th green wearing nothing but some patriotic pasties and the words "Golden Palace" painted across her body. But here's the crazy part. She's not just running around, no, she's got a mission. She's carrying red roses, determined to hand them to Furyk himself. Can you imagine? You're about to make the biggest putt of your career, and suddenly there's a topless woman running at you with flowers. But here's what makes this moment even more incredible. Furyk's reaction. The man doesn't even flinch. He's so locked in, so focused on winning his first major that he barely acknowledges what's happening. The security guards are scrambling, the crowd is going wild, and Furyk. He's just standing there thinking about his next putt. Now that's what I call concentration. It's time for number 8 on our list, and this one involves the GOAT himself, Tiger Woods. But let me tell you, if you thought that was wild, wait until you hear what happened at the 1999 British Open at Carnoustie. Yvonne Robb, a 20-year-old exotic dancer from Scotland, decided she was going to give Tiger Woods something he definitely wasn't expecting. And I'm not talking about golf advice. This time, Tiger Woods, the greatest golfer in the world, is on the 18th hole. He's totally focused, doing his Tiger thing. Suddenly, this woman wearing nothing but black underwear sprints past security, runs straight up to Tiger, and plants a kiss right on his cheek. The best part is Tiger's reaction. He later said, "I heard Ian Woosnam laughing, looked over, and saw some feet." Some feet. That's the understatement of the century. But here's the really wild part. Tiger actually had a pretty practical take on the whole thing. He said he wasn't too worried because, and I quote, "She didn't have a lot on, so I guess I assumed it was a pretty benign situation." I mean, when you put it that way, Tiger, it kind of makes sense. Robb later declared it was the best kiss I ever had, and that she loved Tiger. She got fined 100 pounds for her trouble, but something tells me she thought it was worth every penny. Next up, number 7. We're moving into more recent history, and trust me, it doesn't get any less wild. The 2013 President's Cup at Muirfield Village gave us what might be the most patriotic streak in golf history. Meet Kimberly Webster, a 23-year-old who was just temping for a catering company before she became golf's most talked-about fan. But this wasn't just any regular streak. Oh no. Webster had a plan, a mission, and apparently, a very specific wardrobe choice in mind. She's wearing nothing but a red thong and American flag-themed pasties, carrying Old Glory itself, and sprinting past Steve Stricker and Ernie Els on the 18th fairway. But here's what makes this story even better. She actually had a whole philosophy behind it. When asked why she did it, Webster said, "I wanted to add a little excitement to golf because everyone seemed kind of depressed and like they weren't having fun because of the weather. You can bet that's one way to boost morale. But if we dive into the details, things get even better." You see, Webster didn't just pick a random moment. She'd done her homework. Originally, she wanted to streak past Tiger Woods initially because, well, you know, Tiger Woods. But then she realized the Americans only needed 3.5 points to win, so she wasn't sure if he'd even make it to her chosen hole. So what does she do? She goes for Plan B. And this is my favorite part. She picks Steve Stricker as her target. Why? Because, and I quote, "Streaking for Stricker kind of rhymed." Before her big moment, she actually consulted with a police officer friend. Can you believe that? She asked him, "What are my charges going to be? Am I going to be a sex offender for this?" And this friend was so supportive, he even offered to pay her fines and bail. So, the fine? A mere $99 for disorderly conduct. But the crowd's reaction? Priceless. Some people were shocked, others were cheering, and poor Steve Stricker didn't know where to look. But Webster? She was living her best life, running through the course, dodging security, and making her statement about how golf needed more excitement. Now here's number 6. Just when you thought these stories couldn't get any more outrageous, let me introduce you to the Tiger Lady herself, Nicola Moffat. Now, when people hear Tiger and golf in the same sentence, they usually think of Woods. But at Royal Troon in 1997, a different kind of Tiger stole the show. It's the final round. Justin Leonard is waiting to receive the claret jug, and suddenly, boom, Here comes Moffat, covered head to toe in tiger stripes. We're talking full body paint, black briefs, black shoes, and even furry ears. The full package. Everyone assumed it was a tribute to Tiger Woods. I mean, it made sense, right? Tiger had just won his first Masters a few months earlier. He was the hottest thing in golf. But nope. The whole thing was actually for her boyfriend, Gary McLean. Her friend spent 2 hours painting those tiger stripes on her body. Now that's commitment to the cause. She gave the crowd their money's worth with 2 full laps around the 18th green. And guess who had front row seats to this impromptu performance? Only former President George Bush and Prince Andrew, watching from their balcony. When they finally caught her and asked why she did it, Moffat was completely unapologetic. She simply said she wanted him to be at the golf and see me naked. But what happens when the craziness goes way too far? Well, that brings us to our next wild moment. Number 5 is what I call legendary status. Mark Roberts isn't just any streaker, he's the streaker. The Michael Jordan of taking your clothes off at sporting events. And his performance at the 1995 Open Championship at St. Andrews. Absolute, pure, gold. This man has streaked over 500 times in 13 countries. And no, that's not a mistake. But his St. Andrews streak? That's the one that made him famous. John Daly has just won the British Open. Everyone's celebrating. And suddenly, here comes Roberts. Wearing nothing but a cloth cap and carrying a set of kids' plastic golf clubs, he claims he won at Disneyland. His friends had drawn 19th hole on his back with an arrow pointing. Well, you can see where. The chase that followed was like something out of a Benny Hill show. Roberts is running, security is running. And this random guy who'd been charging people to park in a free car park joins the chase. Roberts actually had to slow down because the guy chasing him was getting too tired. And the best part? When they finally caught him, the exhausted guy who tackled him slapped him and yelled, "Hey, bastard, I could have died then." Coming in at number 4, and here's a moment that made Tiger Woods himself stop in his tracks. It's the 2000 Open Championship at St. Andrews. Tiger Woods, just 24 years old, is about to achieve something incredible, completing the career Grand Slam. The crowd is hushed. History is about to be made. The pressure is enormous. And then, chaos. Out of nowhere, Jacqui Salmond bursts onto the 18th green, and she's putting on a show. She's dancing around the flagstick like it's a maypole, turning golf's most sacred ground into her personal stage. Security is scrambling, the crowd is going wild, and poor Tiger, well, he's mad. This was Tiger Woods, the greatest player of his generation, about to cement his legacy with one of golf's most prestigious achievements. And Salmond picked this exact moment to make her grand entrance. When they finally caught her, she didn't show an ounce of regret. In fact, she seemed pretty pleased with her performance. The fine? A measly 100 pounds. The cost of interrupting one of golf's most historic moments? Priceless. Tiger later called it a shame that interrupted his special moment. Sure, he's Tiger Woods, but this time someone else stole the spotlight. Now breaking into our top 3, and we're at the 2018 Waste Management Phoenix Open, a tournament known for its rowdy crowds and high-energy atmosphere. But this year, things got next-level crazy. It was Wednesday, during the Pro-Am event, a day usually filled with laughs and a laid-back vibe. But as the crowd gathered around the 17th hole, all eyes suddenly turned to a lone figure making his way across the green. There, in only his socks, was 24-year-old Adam Stalmack, giving fans a spectacle they'd never forget. This wasn't a quick dash off the green. Oh no. Stalmack went all out. We're talking breakdancing moves, practice swings, and strutting across the fairway as if he owned the place. Phones flew up, people started filming, and the laughter was contagious. But here comes the best part. This guy managed to evade capture for a full 5 minutes, refusing to let security get anywhere near him. And when security managed to take him down, the aftermath was no joke. Stalmack spent 5 days in jail, lost his bartending job, and faced a $1,500 fine. And get this, when asked if he regretted it, he didn't flinch. Yeah, it was worth it, he told reporters, adding that he'd had a few drinks before and wouldn't have done it sober. For Stalmack, as long as the fans enjoyed the show, it was all worth it. 5 minutes of fame at the cost of 5 days in jail. Guess that's just par for the course at the Phoenix Open. That brings us to number 2. Just when you thought you'd heard everything about the 2000 Open Championship, here comes the most unbelievable moment in golf streaking history. But before we reveal the craziest streaker of all, please subscribe and help us hit 10,000 subs before Thanksgiving. It will mean the world to us. Alright, you see, the 2000 Open Championship at St. Andrews didn't just have one streaker. It didn't have two. It had five. That's right. 5 separate people decided this was their moment to shine. It wasn't just Salmond. We had Carol Lymond doing her thing on the 16th green, Julie Methvin making a dash in nothing but shorts, Michael Duncan pioneering as the first streaker of the tournament, and Barry Dorman, who not only ran naked but did somersaults on the 18th fairway and posed on the iconic Swilcan Bridge. The chaos got so intense that John Paramore, chief referee of the European Tour, admitted it was the first time he'd ever felt frightened on a golf course. Thousands of fans were storming the course, security was overwhelmed, and one marshal even pushed a fan into the Swilcan burn. The aftermath? All 5 streakers got fined, with the judge saying they ruined the concentration of golfers under extreme pressure. It seems these incidents weren't just a coincidence. Rumors spread that someone had offered £10,000 to anyone who would streak during the tournament. Of course, none of these people took home the grand prize. Instead, they ended up paying a few fines. And now the moment you've all been waiting for, the big number 1. And where else could it be? We're back at the Phoenix Open. It was the second round at TPC Scottsdale, and the crowd around the 16th hole was as lively as ever. But then, a figure emerged onto the green, and the cheers turned to laughter and shock. It was Sean Patrick McConnell, a fan dressed in nothing but a Speedo, striding confidently onto the green. But this isn't just any course invasion. Oh no, this guy has a plan. He grabbed the flagstick, spun around it like a pole dancer, and flaunted a 19th hole message written across his back with an arrow pointing, well, right below. But McConnell wasn't done yet. After his pole dancing performance, he made a break for it, sprinting through the tunnel to the 17th tee, leaving security scrambling. The scene only grew more chaotic as McConnell, dodging security guards, made his way down the 17th fairway. Players, caddies, and fans watched in disbelief as he bolted past, turning the tournament into his own personal track meet. His grand finale? A full-speed leap into the pond left of the 17th green, sending a splash across the fairway. Security eventually caught up as he swam his way toward the 18th hole, finally pulling him out and ending his outrageous escapade. After the spectacle, McConnell was arrested and hit with charges like trespassing, disorderly conduct, and failure to obey law enforcement. Booked into the Scottsdale City Jail, he may have regretted the decision, though for fans at the Phoenix Open, it was an unforgettable show. Oh, and while you're still here, we have another great video waiting for you right in the middle of the screen. Enjoy!